I thought it was my failure, that grace was out of reach. My hands were shaking quietly under the weight inside of me. I fell so many times, I almost walked away. But even in my crying, you never turned your face. I searched among the ruins for something left of me. My name was hiding deeply behind the fear I couldn't speak. And when the night grew louder, your footsteps found my shame. You didn't need a single word to heal my heart again. And when I sank the deepest, your hand was holding me. God never gave up on me when I had given in. Through every shattered moment, His mercy breathed me back to life again. God never gave up on me. He held me close to Him when I believed I had no worth. He chose to stay within. My cracks were telling stories of everything I lost. My tears became the language of wounds no one had caught. But in the dust around me, your light began to rise, and the soul that once felt lifeless found breath again inside. And though I said I'm finished, you whispered I am here. And even when I tried to run, your love refused to disappear. In every hollow hour, your fire wrapped around. And when I doubted everything, your spirit pulled me out. God never gave up on me when I collapsed in fear. He gathered all my scattered pieces and pressed them close and near. God never gave up on me. His love became my soul when I could not believe again. His voice kept leading on. God never gave up on me. I say it once again. Even when I try to let Him go, He never let go of my hands. Now I lift my eyes and worship. My spirit breathes again. For even in my lowest fall, God taught my heart to stand. If someday strength deserts me and fear returns to speak, I'll remember that holy moment when He never gave up on me. I had run out of direction, too afraid to move again. Each day became a mountain I had no strength to climb within. My name fell lost inside me, buried under fear and pain. And I believed my story had no hope left to reclaim. I hid my last remaining hopes beneath the ashes of my faith. I thought my many failures were the only things you'd ever see in me. I kept on hiding from the beating of my own heart. I felt your presence coming, breaking through my broken parts. And even when I gave up, your hand refused to leave me there. God never let go of me when I thought He finally did. He held my shattered spirit when I had no strength to live. God never let go of me, even when I let go of Him. He searched through all my shadows and brought me home again. My nights kept repeating the same unending sound, a quiet shame that echoed and stole the breath inside my mouth. But in the ruins of my past, your blessing broke the ground. Where all I saw was death and dust, your mercy made new life come out. And though I said I can't go on, you answered, come to me. And when my hands felt empty, you filled them carefully. In the darkest hour of my soul, your light refused to fade. And I learned that in my deepest loss, you still heard every prayer I pray. God never let go of me when I was losing me. He gathered all my scattered pieces and held them close to His. God never let go of me. His love rebuilt my soul. When I thought I would drown again, your arms lifted me whole. Now I rest inside your mercy, inside your faithfulness that stays. For even when my fire faded, you kept calling out my name. And if one day I start to crumble or forget what I believe, I remember that soft whisper when you never gave up on me. I was walking through the shadow with nothing left to give. My hands were barely holding the little life I had within. My days became a burden, too heavy for my spine. And I thought that all my failures had crossed the final line. I buried every dream I had beneath the weight of fear. I thought that all my weakness was the only truth I'd hear. But right inside the silence, your footsteps found my pain. You broke into my darkness and called my heart by name. And even when I faded, your hand was reaching in. When my strength was gone for good, your love refused to fade. You held my breaking spirit in the middle of the mess I made. carried all my fear. When I thought I was forgotten, you pulled my heart near. My nights became a mirror of everything I lost. But even through my trembling, you never counted cost. You planted hope inside me, where ashes used to live, and where I feared the ending, you taught my soul to breathe again. And though I whispered I am finished, you answered I am here. Where I felt the coldest silence, your presence drew me near. In every hour of weakness, your grace refused to leave. You stood beside my ruins until I learned to believe. When my strength was gone for good, you lifted me from dust. You gathered every shattered piece and held them close with love. When my strength was gone for good, your mercy set me free. And now the breath inside my chest is proof you stood with me. So when the night surrounds me and fear comes back again, I'll trust the God who found me when I had nothing left. For even in my silence, your love kept drawing near. You stayed when I was breaking and gave me strength again to live. I was lost in the silence, afraid of who I'd be. The shadows tried to tell me that you were far from me. My heart was getting weaker, my hope was slipping fast. I whispered, barely breathing, Lord, will this moment pass? I walked through empty places where nothing felt like home. I tried to hide my failures behind a heart of stone. But even in the quiet, you heard my trembling prayer. I felt your mercy reaching and pulling me from there. And when I had no strength left, your presence lifted me. You found me in the dark, held my breaking heart. When I thought that I was finished, you gave me a brand new start. You found me in the dark and tore my fears apart. Even when I couldn't feel you, you never once withdrew your heart. The lies that once controlled me began to fall away. Your truth became the shelter where I could finally stay. You touched the places hidden, the ones I couldn't face, and slowly you restored me gentle waves of grace. You breathed into my silence, you calmed my deepest cries. You wrapped me in your kindness and opened blinded eyes. When darkness tried to hold me, your love broke through the night. And in the place I fell apart, you taught my heart to rise. You found me in the dark, held my breaking heart. When I thought that I was over, you pulled me from the start. You found me in the dark, your peace restored my soul. And now the fear that once was loud has lost its power, lost control. So when the night grows heavy and doubt comes back again, I'll trust the God who found me when darkness said it win. And even if I falter, I know you won't depart, because the God who found me once still lives within my heart. Ooh. I was hiding in my fear, too tired to even pray. My heart was sinking slowly, and I did not know what to say. I thought you would not want me, I thought that I had failed. But even in my silence, your mercy never changed. I tried to walk in shadows, afraid you saw my pain. I carried all my questions like a storm I could not tame. But right there in the quiet, I felt you drawing near. You came without conditions and took away my fear. And when I could not call your name, you still came close to me. When you came to find me, your love was all I knew. In the middle of my trembling, I felt safe again with you. When you came to find me, my heart began to breathe. You lifted all the weight I carried and placed your peace in me. You touched the broken places I tried so hard to hide. You showed me that your kindness was stronger than my pride. And where I saw only failure, you saw what I could be. You turned my heavy story into something filled with peace. You stepped into my darkness and held my shaking hands. You told me I was not alone and held my soul to stand. You breathed on all my weakness and calmed my deepest fear. You healed the pain inside me and wiped away my tears. When you came to find me, your love restored my soul. You made me feel the light again after being lost so long. When you came to find me, your presence set me free. And now my heart will always know that you stay close to me. So when the nights grow heavy and fear begins to speak, I will remember gently the way you rescued me. For even in the silence, your love is always near. You never turn away from me when I am touched by fear. I was tired of the battle, too heavy to go on. My heart was losing color, and my strength was almost gone. I whispered in the quiet, hoping you would hear. I didn't have the words to pray, but I knew that you were near. I carried so much sorrow, my soul could barely breathe. The weight of all my failures kept falling over me. But in my deepest silence, your mercy reached inside. You held me when I couldn't stand, and stayed right by my side. And even when I doubted, your love kept holding on. When I felt too broken to stand, you lifted me again. You wrapped your arms around my heart and healed what fear had been. When I felt too broken to stand, your peace became my breath. You took the tears I couldn't stop and turned them into rest. You touched the parts I'd hidden, the places full of pain, and gently like a sunrise, your light began to change. You spoke into my darkness, and hope began to rise. You didn't rush my healing, you stayed through every night. You never asked for perfect, just honesty from me. You met me in my weakness and showed me who I'm meant to be. Now every step is steady, because I know the truth. I never walked the valley without being held by you. When I felt too broken to stand, you carried me with grace. You held the pieces of my heart and put them back in place. When I felt too broken to stand, your love restored my soul. Now every breath I take again reminds me I am whole. So when the night grows heavy and fear begins to speak, I'll rest in your reminder that you are holding me. Even if I stumble and can't stand where I am, I know you'll come and lift me when I feel too